In this video we will continue with the assembly of a 2-layer custom SAK. We are going to reuse the rivets and collars which we removed from the Victorinox Mountaineer. Take note the diameters of the two outer rivets are 2.5 mm and the inner rivets are 2.2 mm. The first layer of this SAK consists only of the stainless steel file and back spring from the Mountaineer. At this point, we do not want to engage the back spring with file yet. We want to put the liner first before engaging the back spring with the file. The reason we do that is because there is a very strong tendency for the file to pop out of engagement while you put on the liner. What we want is to make use of the liner to hold the file and back spring in engagement as we move on to build the other layers. Here you can see the back springs sitting on top of the file. To bring them into engagement, we need to push aside the back spring so that it sits flush with the file. The tool I use to push aside the back spring is the Victorinox Golfer. I tried various techniques and I find this is the easiest so far. I place the left fork in between the rivet and the back spring. Then I get ready my fingers to trap the back spring and the file with the liner once they are engaged. Lever the left fork so that the back spring moves away from the rivet. The back spring will drop down once it clears the edge of the file. The file and back spring are now engaged and trapped by the liner. We can now move on to assemble the second layer. As before, we are going to use the same technique to engage the back spring with the fine screwdriver. Notice that the degree of overlap between the back spring and the screwdriver is a lot more than in the previous case. Regardless of which tool you are trying to engage, rotate it so that you can find the least amount of overlap with the back spring. This will make the engagement process easier. We can now put on the liner. Be sure that the liner faces the right way up. You can refer to your pictures that you have taken before you disassemble the knife. Take note of the spacer right at the bottom. As I pivot the fork, the spacer moved out of position. The back spring is sitting on top of the spacer and we need to rotate the spacer so that the back spring sits flush. All the tools are now engaged. We will do a quick check later on. Open and close each tool. It should snap easily and smoothly. This means the tools are engaged properly. Be careful to hold the liners securely so that the tools do not fall out of engagement. This concludes the assembly of the tools and back spring. The next video will show the riveting process and completion of the build.